Good evening. This is Streaming Praise Radio in conjunction with London Black Women in Business. And we have with us, and I'm going to bring them in now. So you introduce yourself, starting from.
Angelita Henry.
And.
Chizoba Wangu.
You want to repeat that again?
Chizoba Wangu.
Okay.
And Lena Roll.
Lena Road. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that I get everybody's right. Let me start by welcoming you to the broadcast, and I'm going to ask one question, and you each have the opportunity to answer the question accordingly. What inspired you to start your business in London, and what's one lesson you learned early that every Black woman entrepreneur should hear? Anyone
can start.
Yeah.
I'll start with what inspired me to start my business.
Okay.
So my inspiration came from my own personal story. I run Zane Postpartum Care. We're a nurse-led postpartum care service. We provide care for mothers and their babies during the postpartum phase. So we do everything with nursing assessment, home care, daytime care for baby, night care also. We handle feeding, bopping, everything we do for baby and mom as well. So the reason why I started this came from my own personal story. I migrated to Canada 7 years ago. I had my child here. And during that period, I found a need or a gap. When I took my baby home after for the postpartum phase, I had that child and I was like, what am I going to do with this child? I didn't have my mom here. I had my sister-in-law. She was amazing. She was helpful, in supporting me. But she also had little children. So aside my sister-in-law, there was no one else. My sister-in-law and her family. They helped in ways they could, but they had their own family. So I found out I didn't have any dedicated person taking care of my needs or where I come from Nigeria.
Okay.
Back home, when you have a child, you have almost a 40-day period where your mom comes. We call it, in the Igbo culture, we call it omugo. So your mom comes, she takes care of you, she bathes your baby, she also massages you. There's this soup, we call it in Igbo, we call it ofe, I can't remember what it is, but it's like a pepper soup. It's it's made of vegetable broth. So it's very nourishing, and a woman takes it and she just makes your food. So you just have to rest for 40 days. So that period helps with mental health. It helps you're not worrying about a lot of things, and having someone who have gone through postpartum, you can ask that person question, makes a big difference. In my case, I didn't have a lot of that. My sister-in-law was amazing. She bathed my baby, she did everything for me, but there was just that gap because she also had little children.
Right.
Now, I looking back, or now I'm here, I see that a lot of women are also in that situation with me, where they, go home with a new child, they don't know what to do with that new child, they feel overwhelmed. And as Black people, I'm also going to go back to the point where I did also suffer postpartum depression when I had my child. I didn't know it was postpartum depression at the point. It was later on, with education and experience, I realized that I was dealing with postpartum depression. I found out that a lot of women, especially Black women, deal with postpartum depression or anxiety. And because we come from a culture of, we respect strength, we respect people who can, carry it on together, and we think it's just a part of, motherhood. We think is, carrying that struggle or stress is a way of, being strong. It's not. So it's from that knowledge I decided to, create or come up with, Zane Postpartum Care. So what we do is we come into your home. As a nurse, I am going to ask you about your mental health. I'm going to check your blood pressure. I'm going to check your vitals. I'm going to check your bleeding. I'm also going to do everything about your baby. I'm going to give your baby bath. I'm going to bop your baby. We'll work with, other healthcare providers where we just take the stress off you and off the family for those few weeks after childbirth. And if you happen to need, community support, we find out, say for instance, you're struggling with postpartum anxiety, we can also connect you with, family doctors. I encourage you to go meet your family doctors, connect you with public health professionals, and, carry it on from there. So that was the reason why I started saying postpartum care.
Okay.
I hope I answered that.
You did very well. You did very well. So I'm going to go to the next person, and that's you.
All right, awesome. I started out as a financial professional. I'm what I would say an educator, and also a social worker back in the days. However, when I started with this particular opportunity to go in and use the education experience that I've had to now use it in a financial way, I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to educate people, because the great book says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And therefore, for that one particular statement, and each time I would go in and speak to a family about finances, I realized that there is a lack of education where that's concerned. So I pressed into it more because I feel that if you can understand the things that you have, in particular, my expertise is in life insurance and also investment. The whole gamut really of the financial industry is what I deal with. However, I look at it from the standpoint that if an individual have a life insurance and they don't understand what that life insurance is, how long it will last, will it prepare that family for the what ifs in life? And so going in and helping people to realize what they do have, understand that policy, and if they don't have enough, provide that solution for them. And also, we are creatures of habits, I would say, because we're used to the bank being the place that we want to invest our money. But what if we can sit and show you something that will allow your money to work for you? What does the rich know that the poor doesn't know? And that's how we go in there and help people to understand how to open a TFSA, where in which you don't necessarily, not that you're avoiding the banks. However, there are other opportunities and other avenues. And so that is how I got started in the financial industry, because I felt there's a need in our community for people to understand. Because if you understand, you can shape your future, and you don't have to necessarily rely on someone else to do it for you, based on the knowledge that you will gain. So that's why I started.
Beautiful. And
Okay, so I started real estate maybe about 15 years ago, and the reason why I enjoy real estate, it's because I love beautiful things. I'm a clean freak, so I like the fact that I can show people homes if they're looking to buy or if they're selling, but mostly people that are looking, because when I think about it, a lot of people are paying someone else's mortgage instead of paying their own. Especially here, I see a lot of rental amounts, monthly rental amounts. It's equivalent to a mortgage amount, which it could be their own, because if you buy, there's equity, it's an investment that you do. And especially now, there's a program right now that if you were to buy a house, it covers your 5% down. You don't have to worry about down payment anymore. You just come up with about maybe 8,000, 10 maybe max, and you can buy yourself a house. So I really enjoy helping people. I don't care about my commission. It's all about the client, what they're, getting them a mortgage. I know for sure that there's some leeway that they could, save some money, and they're not, every month right up to the stretch of paying and then have nothing. So I enjoy helping people, and since buying a house is one of the biggest investment one can make, why not? I want to be part of it.
beautiful. So let me ask you this question. As a Black woman building a business in a local community, what challenges have you faced, and what helped you push through?
Challenges that I face, I find there's not a lot of people that will really help you. So I find here you really have to go out of the way and try to see like-minded people that will work together with you, support you. And I just find it's a bit divided. So for people that's maybe thinking of becoming realtors themselves, it's just a matter, I think they should definitely try to connect, network, and don't let anything discourage you. If every day you wake up, God gives you breath, gives you life, you see a new day, you have no excuses, just do it. Like Nike says, just do it.
Just do it.
No excuses.
Thank you. And
Okay. So, as a black woman navigating business here, what challenge I've faced has been, I would say, getting my business to the people who actually need it. So I was privileged to do a little work with public health, and I found out that there are a lot of people who need this, the kind of business or the kind of service I provide. But the thing is, I'm also, funding might be a problem, right? Funding is a problem for them. So the challenge I am looking at right now is funding. Funding getting my service out there to the public, and also for those who actually need it to, realize or to see the need for it. Because most times when people talk of postpartum care, people are like, I can handle it myself. That's one thing. Some people are like, I can handle it myself. Some people who can't might not actually have the funds to do that. So I'm trying to bridge the gap on how to. I haven't gotten a perfect solution to bridge that gap, but I'm trying to find a solution to do that for sure.
Awesome. So,
all right, that's me now. All right, I think one of the biggest challenge for myself that I'm facing in our community, I'm gonna say our community because that was one of my main focus. And when I joined this business 11 years ago, how can we help ourselves to get into a better position in which the next generation is not necessarily starting at ground zero? How can we transfer wealth or create a legacy financially so that the next generation will not have to start at ground zero? And hearing the families or parents say that if I have to struggle, then why do I need to leave something for my children? And I think that's so heartbreaking because I don't believe that God gave us our children for them to have to. I think that's our biggest challenge. We have to constantly be recycling or constantly trying to mend the broken pieces when, in essence, a lot of people are using the same life insurance, the same investment tools to build wealth for the next generation. And I believe that's where we're lacking. But also when others, when you go into a place where you're trying to also sell yourself for others to see that, hey, listen, what I have to offer is good. And they kind of look at you like, hey, I'm sorry, but I've already got my advisor, regardless of what you have to say. And so trying to break through the barriers or the walls that are already set, or the foundation that's already set, whether it's an honest foundation or not, people sometimes they don't give you that opportunity to open the door for you to at least give them the information that you do have.
Awesome. So what advice would you give to young black women in London, Ontario who wants to start a business but are afraid to take the first step?
And you looked at me, so
and I'm looking at you. First of all, can you give your name again?
My name is Angelita Henry. And so what advice I would give my 18-year-old self is go for it. Don't let anything stand in the way. Take that leap of faith, because most times you allow fear to get in the way and it cripples you. And so that's what I would say to a young black woman or young lady that wants to start a business. Take the chance on you, because when you do that, there will be other people that will come in the pathway to guide you along and become the mentor that you are seeking and the mentor that you need to get you to the next level. Perfect. So I would say just do it.
Just do it.
And you?
I'm going to say I'm Chizoba again, and it's something I tell myself every day. Do it, and do it scared.
Do it.
You might be like be shaking on your feet, but just do it. In the process, you're going to have, I feel like God, like I'm a spiritual person, but God always brings people to your path who are going to show you the way. So do it scared, pray about it. To whatever you believe in. I believe in God, so I pray to God about it, and He will show you a way. He will find a way. Talk to people about it. Look for mentors. Connect with people who are already doing things in that field you find yourself in, and just ask for help. Don't feel don't feel ashamed, or don't feel too small to ask for help, or too big to ask for help. Ask for help and do it. So do it scared.
Finally,
I am Lena Roll again. And just to add to what they've said, I believe there's, especially now, there's something called Chat GPT. So for those who have all the excuses why they can't start, you start with Chat GPT. For those of us that feel that we can't do it, and we rely on God, because I know a lot of people say, God is gonna make it happen for me. But I always say that if we do the things that we're supposed to do, what we cannot do, God will do what we cannot do. So for anyone that's out there, whether you're young or old, I think once the thought comes to you and you get an outline, or you just go to ChatGPT, says, this is what ChatGPT, hi, how are you? This is what I'd like to do. Can you just give me a roadmap? It will definitely give you a roadmap, and don't stop at anything. And if sometimes you have to self-talk, you self-talk yourself. Go to the mirror and speak to yourself.
Yep.
That's what I believe.
I agree, 100%.
well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your views as a Black woman in London, Ontario, Black women in business. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Okay, that was quick.
Another set of women here in the place. So I am the lone star. So we're going to start off by getting names. And your name is?
Nadia McCormack McIntyre.
And?
Nkem Delim Ezenwa.
And?
Amakao Keke.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, so my business is Mackie's Jerk and Catering, and it started back in Jamaica. Then I moved here in Canada, paused it because I had to work and make a living. And then 3 years ago, I was just lying in bed and I said, I have to go back to my love. And my love was cooking, because I spend a lot of time in the kitchen cooking with my mom, and I was missing her so much. And I just started doing my catering. I have my day job still. That's what pays most of the bill. So I decided to just slowly go back into the love. Something that makes me feel grounded. Something that gives me a voice of who I am. And not a title by my job and my position or anything. Because when I'm in the kitchen cooking, I take off my shoe, I cook barefoot, and I just feel, and I cook with my hands, and I chew and dash in the spices, and I don't measure nothing, and I taste and I smell. And I remember my mom and my sisters, and that's my love.
Yeah.
So you would say the inspiration came from
my culture, my
Your
heritage,
culture. Okay.
my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what lessons have you learned so far?
What I've learned so far is to embrace who you are. Don't run from who you are, and take the culture and what you know and what you have, and it can make a profit. You can use like who you are to turn it into a future. I tell people that, and that's what I started talking about, and I'm doing keynote speaking, and I did a conference recently, and I went to the conference not even knowing what I was gonna say, and it came to me because there was a praise and worship song, Who Am I? Who Am I? And I went up and I said, you know what? Who are you? I don't want to hear your title. I don't want to hear no accolades. I know this. I want to know who you are. So I've learned to embrace myself, bringing out my culture, my love, my heritage, and do what I do best, cook.
That's beautiful.
And feed people.
So nice.
So what would you say inspire you, and what lessons have you learned so far?
I'll say that what inspires me is seeing people happy and comfortable. So I'm in the financial industry services. So I basically help people with their finances. You know, planning your finances for like the two basic problems that we cannot run away from. So which is life, right? So I try to help people plan their life for what if life is short or what if life is long, because you know, we don't know what tomorrow is gonna be, and we don't know when our time is gonna be. So by kind of looking at it in that way, you know, I help them structure their finances in such a way that even if life is short, like if they are to pass away earlier than expected, their dependents will not be stranded, and they won't have to go doing GoFundMe, begging for money for something as simple as a funeral expenses. So we kind of get that covered for their families. And also the other problem, which is, what if life is long? Then you're looking at retirement. We are in Canada, and we all know how the CPP, how much we get at the end of the month. So after 65 years, it's kind of difficult to go back to work, right? So when I go to the stores like Walmart, I see the older people, like our seniors behind the cashier walking. It breaks my heart. Because like I ask myself, if it is my mom or dad that is there, will I want them to be there? No. I want them to be at home, enjoying their life, because they've worked so hard, and they're in that stage where they should be traveling, having fun, So I help people structure their finances in such a way that after retirement they don't have to work. They are very comfortable to live their dream, right? So that is basically my inspiration.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I love traveling anyway, so I need to be able to fund that.
So what inspired you, and what lessons have you learned so far in your business? And what business do you do?
That's a great question. The biggest inspiration is wounds. It took the passing of my mom to realize that I'm made for more. And I always begin by saying, like, God, I put God first. I put God first. And ever since I started to lean more, I realized that the more we get closer to God, the more we know who we are. So the wounds brought out the inspiration. And also, I love kids. I grew up feeling like I did not know much about myself.
Right.
And growing up and watching kids, I know that I have strong advocacy towards kids. I do not want them to be mentally, spiritually, or emotionally hurt. And I can always sense when something is going on. So my discernment has increased. So that's kind of like where my inspiration came from. So now I'm birthing an African Nigerian specifically brand called Ari, and the whole idea is to create I don't want to call it a fabric, but a heritage where kids embrace their culture, embrace who they are, but still not stuck with conventional outfits, where they can say, hey, I am bold, I am beautiful, I can express myself through my heritage. I don't have to worry about what anyone thinks about me, because I love me for who I am. And that is the whole inspiration. And when my outfit come, I'm telling you, here and now, nothing is going to compete with that.
Right.
And every year I'm coming up with something new. As a matter of fact, right now we have a launch coming up on the 18th of July. It's happening at 100 Keller Lane. We're expecting over 250 guests. The whole point, the whole highlight of that day is about the kids. It's going to be a fashion show, red carpets. So I would say that's coming up soon, and I will, of course, share more news about that.
Okay.
Wow. That's nice.
So as a Black woman in this London community, what challenges have you faced so far, and what helped you to push through?
Well, I would say the biggest challenge, because I'm part of a Mosaic group, the biggest challenge I face is communication. And what does that really mean? Is what you say, and we did that practice today, how is that interpreted? How do you express yourself? Are you comfortable with your own skin? How do you express yourself with the love for yourself, as opposed to expressing yourself with how people see you, how people should see you? So I started to learn more about, I'm like, what do you really mean to say here? Do you mean to say no, or do you mean to say yes? And now I am bold.
Right.
Now I thank God for that insight. I'm bold. I don't apologize for nothing. I mean what I say. When I say I will see you, I'll see you. When I say I don't want to come, I don't want to come. And and I also embrace my name, because when I first came into Canada, I used to go by Sandra. I'm like, no, my name is Amaka. Amaka Sinachi. Goodness comes from God. If you cannot pronounce that, I am so sorry. But that is my name, and I love it. And I want every child to know that that's very important.
Right.
It's all about your roots, your heritage, your birthmark.
Amen.
Yes.
And I'll ask you the same question.
Okay.
What challenges have you faced and what have you to push through?
I think the challenges that I've faced, learning to accept no from people, and also learning that that is not the end. Like consistency, because sometimes for me, right, I'm doing this because I'm very, very passionate about helping people. So my background, I have a degree in computer science. I used to be I am still just on hold. So I am a software developer, programmer. So money wasn't my problem. But I found out that that career was putting me behind the computer all the time. I'm writing programs, I'm debugging, and I'm a people person. I love helping people, like one-on-one, and so doing the business. Sometimes you are talking to people, especially people in our community, right? Anything that has to do with them putting in money for them, they tend to be scared. Like I find that some of them are more interested in give me instead of investing, right? So sometimes it can be challenging, but I try to put myself in their shoes, and then I try to bring the situation to their level to make them understand, especially giving them practical instances. Because like I'm in the Nigerian community, I'm also Nigerian too. So sometimes when people pass away, people, they're sending GoFundMe, this person has kids, what are we gonna do? There's no money to send them back home. I'm like, but I try to talk to you about this. This would have been avoided. So I found out that the no is not a stop, right? So you gotta keep talking, you gotta keep pushing. Not pushing per se, but like for me personally in the business, not to give up, right? Because helping one client alone, helping one family alone gives me this immense joy that at least like my friend, if she has, let's say, an insurance that is structured for both when life is short and long, and she lives like 98 years, I'm hoping, or more. So we get to travel to the Bahamas together, right? At least she wouldn't come complaining that I don't have money.
That's true.
Because she have all this money saved. So these are the things that it keeps me going. It gets me excited. Just one person at a time. Yeah.
And for you, ma'am?
Okay. Lots of barriers, lots to push through. What I want to highlight today is that I am the first Black female general manager in London.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Right.
And one of the barriers I've seen since I've been here in Canada is I'm the first Black something. And sometimes it bothers me because I was like, why has this never happened before? And because I'm going to be that first Black person doing this, the expectations, sometimes how do I behave because there's no one else like me in the room. So how do I know how to sit, how to talk, how to be something? But you know what? I put God in front of everything. So I'll be chanting and praying and saying things and I push through. I'm also the first Black president for Skull International here in London.
Okay.
And I'm the first Black president elect for the Kiwanis Forest City in London.
Wow.
So it's pushing through a lot of barriers, opening those doors and paving the way for other Black women.
Exactly.
To show them you can come to Canada as an international student, as an immigrant, and do what you do best.
Right.
Love yourself, put God first, open the doors. Yes, you're the first, but set the way.
Right.
Pave the way and be genuine and authentic to yourself.
Well, you've answered the last question I was going to ask you. What advice would you give to the young Black women?
Be genuine and authentic to yourself. Take the culture, take the patois. Okay, so one of the ladies downstairs say one of the issues she had was when she came to Canada, people understanding her because of her language. And I found that strange because I talk patois to my staff all the time. If they want to understand, they don't understand, that's their business.
Everyone has an accent.
They
anyway.
have to learn to understand you as well. We came, we understand people, we understand culture. Why should not we expect people to learn to understand us?
Right.
It's a fair trade-off.
Yes.
I learn your culture, I accept your ways, I accept your belief, I give you your space. Do the same for me. So
Right.
sometimes
So
I
win-win.
throw in a little patois in the sentence. And by now they kind of know because I'm teaching them. So now they know some of my little jargons when I say go fast. Move your body.
I know, right? I know what it means.
They know what it means by now because they learn me.
Exactly.
So be rooted in who you are. Strong in who you are.
Right.
Put God first and
That's
you
good.
will achieve.
And what would you say to the young black woman who wants to start her own business?
Yeah. So what I will tell them is, first, you can do it. Right? You can do it. Like, I know that the culture back in the days, back home, then they put women in a certain place and not in the workforce. Your place is at home and the men do the work, and but the economy has changed, everything has changed. And talking to women, especially the young ones, I still see people who are a little bit naive and uncertain if they can do it, right? They're like, but no. If you have a dream, like, I'm all about vision board, like, I'm a visual learner. So if you don't know where to start from somewhere. Get a vision board. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe go to a dollar store, get like the white big plane. Write out what you want to do. What is that thing that makes you happy? Because being passionate about what you do is very, very primary. I don't believe in you just to pay, just to get your pays and pay your bills. That is important. You can do that, but your dream shouldn't be something you let go just because you feel you cannot do it. Just start somewhere, draft a plan, because he who plans to fail fails to plan, right? Right, so plan it and baby steps, one step at a time, at a time. Eventually you get there, and when you get there, you blow. Let me use Nigerian slogan.
Yes, use it.
And just like my two sisters have said, put God first.
Oh yes.
I'm a God. Oh God. I believe in that statement that one with God is majority.
That's right.
Yes.
With God, you can move mountains.
That's right.
When with faith, you can do anything. Like, my favorite verses is Philippians 3, the one that said that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Yep.
Whenever I feel weak, whenever I feel tired, like sometimes I wake up, because having a business is challenging. It's different from working for someone. Because when you're working for someone, you have to get up whether you feel like it or not. But when you're doing a business, you have to motivate yourself to get up. So is that like that vision board? Put it in front of your room if you have to. Everywhere in the mirror, remind yourself affirmations if you have to. But get up and do it.
Yeah.
Tell yourself, like, I'm doing mine full time. Because I was doing it part time. I realized, doing it part time is divided. Even the Bible says you can't serve two masters at a time. If you do, one will suffer. So for me, I figured, okay, because like I said, seeing people happy, financially secured, makes me happy. Because at the end of the day, in everything we are doing, business, working for someone, it boils down to your finances. Because imagine getting being employed, they give you paycheck, and then you pay your bills. That's it. You don't have enough savings. So helping people navigate that and be financially free, that is what keeps me going. So the bottom line is, find your passion, find your dream, right, and pursue it. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll get to your destination.
Amen.
Yes.
And for you?
I think they just nailed so many important points. But the big thing I would say here is, like my sisters rightly said, find your big why. You can't sell what you haven't personally experienced. And this was a big thing for me. Like, I've always asking myself, why do I have so much care towards this, so much deep-rooted care towards children? And then eventually I'm like, oh wait, there could be more. So find your big passion, the big why, because it's the why that keeps you going. It doesn't matter what strategy you use down the line. The why keeps you going forever.
Right.
And then start now. Don't
Yes.
delay. Start now.
Yep.
Because inflation is going up.
That's the
Things
next
are changing.
thing.
AI has taken
Yes.
so many things.
Technology.
And very soon, there might not be that opportunity anymore.
Yep.
And we just
Pass
don't
you
delay.
by.
Just start.
Pass you by.
Now, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me today in this little interview, and I am really excited about the three of you. By the way, you guys are fires in this place. Thank you so much Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
I
You're
told you
welcome.
you're gonna have the tree loudest and the tree most passionate.
And thank you for having us.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
And you still have your cookie.
Oh yes.
Listen carefully. When you feel like all hope is gone and you can't find your way, my friend, I have an answer. Prayer changes things.
As I see,
As you know, right here in London, Ontario, there's a London Black Women in Business, and we've been interviewing. This is our third set of three ladies, so I'm just going to switch the video back again, and we have a fresh set. Good evening, ladies, and how are you doing today?
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
hi, we're doing well, thanks.
They're looking at me like, okay, what's happening here? Anyways, introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name is Christine Thuku, but I go by Tina, and I live here in London.
I know who you are, but I want you to tell us who you are.
Sure. My name is Aklai Ernest Wallace, and I also live here in London.
And you are?
Hi, I'm Dana Stewart. I'm a mortgage broker and I'm from London as well.
Okay, so I'm going to start with some questions, and the same question goes for everybody. You can answer, starting with you. What inspired you to start your business in London, Ontario, and what lessons have you learned so far?
Well, I want to say what's inspired me firstly. So I got into this during COVID. So we're all on lockdown and I did start as an assistant. But it just really came about through, noticing the hardships a lot of immigrants and especially Black individuals were experiencing, and just a general lack of knowledge in financial education getting into acquiring a home, purchasing a home, or being in a home and just knowing what their options are in terms of wealth accumulation, debt consolidation, that sort of thing. So that really, really inspired me because I'm really, really passionate about, accumulating wealth within our community, because that is one aspect or another area that we unfortunately fall behind in terms of home ownership, the percentage and level of home ownership. So that's what really inspired me to get into that industry.
And Aklai, tell us about you. You got two businesses going on, so tell us about both.
All right. So I'll start with the gospel choir that I have started and founded in 2022. It's a gospel choir of now 35 children. I come with a background of more than 25 years of experience as a gospel artist, musician, a classically trained pianist. And so I bring my expertise to the London community to teach children excellent quality singing that can rival any other competitive children's choir in our nation, I believe.
Awesome. And
I'm Tina. So for me, coming from Kenya as my background, when I came to Canada from the US, there's something I was missing, wearing my identity, because I couldn't find my bracelets, I couldn't find my clothing, my bags in Walmart, Costco, or anywhere. So I brought up the idea of, let me bring my stuff from Kenya and sell them to other Black people so that they can wear what they want to wear in this country where you can't find it somewhere else. That is what I do. I do retail online at Etsy.com, and I go to pop-up markets during the summer, different places, and display what we have. And I get a lot of feedback from here of what people like to see, and most of the things which I have are handmade. With that being said, that business brought me to an idea, what can I do with my hands? Last year, I started sewing, because if people can make these handcrafted materials, bags, jewelry, clothes with their hands. We are all gifted differently, and we are supposed to be fruitful and multiply. So I started sewing, and the first place which I went to teach a class was through a non-profit organization called WeBridge here in London. I taught the seniors last year how to sew blankets so they can give to their grandchildren and their children and learn something new, and they were so excited. So this year I was able to go back and teach families, to get families together, young adults, young kids and their parents, so that they can sew together and have fun. Next Saturday I'll be having the other third class with to raise fundraising for a church, so that we can be able to teach people a new skill and they enjoy together, to bring family together instead of them just being in the watching games. Let them do things with their hands so that they're more talented. That's what I do.
So as a Black woman building your business in this local community, what challenges have you faced and how did you push through?
The challenges I face most of the time is how to import things to come into the country, because right now, especially with the taxes being up there, sometimes we don't want to get people buying from the US or other places because the tariffs are high. Those are the challenges I find. The other challenges I find, since I'm volunteering to teach people how to learn to use a sewing machine with doing cushion covers or blankets, I may not have enough materials. And sometimes when I approach people for any donations, I may not get a feedback as I expect. And I wonder why, because other companies are able to get them. But for me, I find it challenging. So it's like I have to call somebody to be able to go get them for me. That's the challenge I have.
And Clay?
I think some challenges that I have, and I didn't actually talk about my second business, which is psychotherapy, but it's actually very similar challenges. People not necessarily understanding the importance of mental health or music, or putting their children in music, or pursuing mental health for themselves. And so a big challenge is helping people understand the importance and understanding the longevity and the benefits. Because at first it might seem, oh, it's just music, they don't have to do that. Oh, it's just mental health, I don't need a psychotherapist. I can talk to God about my problems. I can talk to my friends. And they don't realize that there's a certain expertise, the training that someone like myself can bring to them that's going to change the world for them. So the children in our choir have said that things like they decrease bullying at school, learning confidence because they're singing in public often in front of, as you know, hundreds of people. So it teaches them confidence. The people who come to me for psychotherapy, they learn a lot about their thought processes, not just spiritualizing away all their problems, but working through them, either in marital therapy, because I am a marital therapist, or in individual therapy. I work a lot with individuals, anxiety, depression. And so the challenge can sometimes be convincing people that your children might need the choir or you may need psychotherapy, because both of those things together improve dramatically mental health. And so it's very important that people start to understand why they should care about their mental health and their children's health. And music does it in a way that talking to them for hours will not do. They come to 2 hours with me and they walk, you see them standing up, you see them, like they sang a solo, they were able to lift their voices, learn a technique, a vocal technique from me that they never knew before. And so a session with me is different than if their mom said, clean your room, clean your room. It's gotten to the point that parents who have their children in the choir tell me, when I used to tell my kids to discipline them, you won't go to choir if you don't clean the room. And they love choir so much that now they clean the room. And as my friend said, she's got an event coming up. We have an event coming up June 13th, happening very, very soon. June 13th, we're inviting the entire public to come and come and support the children's choir, the London Kids Community Gospel Choir. It is a worthy investment. It is part of my life's work. And I count it a privilege. Even though those challenges are there, I believe that as you come to the concert, you will see what I see, which is children thriving.
Okay.
So I would say, ironically, the same inspiration that got me into the mortgage industry, which is wanting to see Black individuals, being educated and getting into home ownership as soon as they're able to. It's also the same challenge that I face, because there is a lot of miscommunication, misconceptions in terms of things around credit, finances, and unfortunately, sometimes there's also a huge mistrust in our own people and wanting to go with other people or other institutions that don't necessarily understand the nuances of you being an immigrant, you're waiting on your partner to come and join you, or you're having to support families back home and how that affects your finances and what that looks like, and just basic things. Managing financial institutions where there are lots of immigrant clients, where mostly my clients, they'll have their down payments in the form of joint partnerships or susus or partners, and those are not recognized by financial institutions, and just navigating those things which are institutional barriers but are not seen as such on that aspect. So those are some of the few challenges. There are many, but those are some of the main challenges that affect our communities.
So, if you were to meet your younger self in the future, what would you tell your younger self? How would you encourage them to start, and what steps to take?
Very good one. So this, I would absolutely say confidence. I think a lot of times when you're a minority in society, or in your school, or in your professional field in general, it takes a toll on you, whether you're noticing or not. It subconsciously takes a toll on you. It causes a lot of self-doubt. It causes you to question yourself, question where you're standing. But I'd absolutely say to my younger self, like, show up, show out, be confident, be proud of who you are, and know that you are just as good, and you don't have to be twice as good to be good enough. You're good enough as you are.
Amen.
I love that.
What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, prioritize my mental health early. Don't wait. I think I waited a little longer than I would have liked. So I would tell my younger self, prioritize your mental health very early. Put yourself first and not always last. Because in the guise of serving others, sometimes we learn unhealthy habits. And I would say, put yourself first, don't put yourself last. It doesn't mean first as you forget others, but love your neighbor as you love yourself. Not more than yourself, but as you love yourself. That's what I would tell my younger self.
And
for me, I think what matters most is if you go out there and you do what you are doing best, whether it's acceptable to others, if you feel great with what you did because you gave your best, applaud yourself. Then go back out there and do it again. Before you know it, you become more courageous to face any obstacles that is out there. For me, it's a leap of faith. You can't say by mouth, I want to do this, but you're not getting out and doing it. You have to take the action. Do it, face the obstacle, overcome it. By faith, you can do so many things, but you have to take the step out there. So that's what I would do if I'm younger. Go there and just face the obstacle.
Thank you. And coming up on what date again?
June 13th, is it high enough? June 13th is going to be the New Song concert happening here in London at First St. Andrew's Church, 350 Queen's Avenue. And just a little tidbit, we are having Natalie Stewart, which is assistant conductor with the Toronto Mass Choir, as a guest artist, and the York University Gospel Choir director will be there. And the London Kids Community Gospel Choir has written their own song for the first time, and we'll be presenting it, and it's called New Song.
Nice. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being here with me today, and I appreciate you very much, and looking forward to all your businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, bye-bye.
out into the world, and so having a safe space where you can truly just be yourself and say exactly who you are and have somebody hear you and see you is a true gift. And every day I'm honored to do this work, and so yeah.
So would you say, and as in this community, this local community, what are some of the challenges you faced, and what helped you to push through those challenges?
Definitely, like getting through school and having financial barriers it would be a big part of that. And I think in terms of the community at large, I think financial difficulty is huge in accessing naturopathic care. And so I know for myself, I struggled to pay for that. And when I was a student, I had a naturopath that did discounted rates for me because I couldn't afford anything. And so, now I run a nonprofit called Naturopathy for All that helps Canadians access naturopathic care. And we pay the naturopath directly so that they don't have to worry about that financial burden. So I'd say that honestly, like financial for sure would be a huge barrier for me. And then I think in the climate of the world that we're in right now, I think racism and inequity is more obvious than ever before. And I tend to have a happy-go-lucky view of the world at times. And sometimes it's a rude awakening that there are barriers that I can be naive to at times.
Same question for you.
Yeah, I joined together with what she said. The barrier, like, a lot of racism that I find. I realized that the Black people, we are up there more than we receive from where we go out there. So for the community, like people, we get more support, more others, but we even get support ourselves. Sorry.
I want to go back and ask you, Doc, a question pertaining to being a naturopathic doctor, especially in a society that believes more in conventional medicine. What kind of pushbacks do you get from
that? Well, in terms of how it shows up in practice is that the person has exhausted all of the medical options and now is like hopeless and doesn't know what else to do. So now I'm kind of like the last resort, which is okay because that means everything's been tried and I can think outside the box. In terms of, I would say like teamwork, it's very difficult to have that team kind of aspect to like, okay, I'm treating this person this way. These are the things that they're taking. I realize they're taking these medications. Like these are the interactions that they have. But I haven't found yet a medical doctor that's willing to converse about a patient and determine the best course of action for their care yet. I'm open to having that changed at any time. But definitely having more of a team care profile, I think, is a challenge for sure. And then from the more like micro perspective of if somebody has a negative experience with a naturopath, it's kind of tainted them to never go back. And that's unfortunate because every naturopath does have a specific focus. And I know for myself, like I offer 15-minute complimentary consultation. If we have a chat and I say, well, you know what, actually my colleague would be better at treating this and I could refer them. And actually a lot of naturopaths do offer that, so please do take advantage so that you find the right one and have the best experience possible.
If you were to give advice to someone, especially in your field, a younger person who wants to try this kind of a business and they're afraid to make the step, what would you tell them?
Well, I do have students approach me and talk about, naturopathy and, what it's really like and all that good stuff. And I would say that I cannot imagine another career. This is my passion. This is exactly where I need to be. And that's a huge relief from a mental, emotional, physical perspective. And so I think that my advice would be to be prepared for the hard times, which is generally the first 2 to 3 years of practice. My business was 90% built on word of mouth. And unfortunately, that's a slow build. but it's a strong finish essentially. And so I would just tell them that they need to start networking early and get their face out there, because honestly, those connections that you make and the in-person connections are the ones that last. Have a niche, so don't just be a generalist. Have a specific focus that you want to be really, really good at treating, and then refer the rest. Because a good referral is just as good as treating that patient yourself. Because honestly, they're going to remember that, and then they're going to say, you know, this person was honest with me. They had integrity. So I guess just to nutshell it, I would say be prepared for it to be hard. But if it's your passion, you will get through it, and you will change lives.
And what would you say to your younger self if they had to do what you're doing? What would you encourage them to do?
For what I do, I really encourage everyone, because I feel in my heart that what I do is for me is a therapist, because when I be able to help someone, is make me to feel that I'm doing something to impact somebody. Especially when I have, I'm starting to make a small business now. I do a little small business. But before in that point, to see somebody's impacted with a word or with the food or with a word of encouragement like I do, I feel like that is big for me. But sometimes, like she mentioned, there is a pushback from the people who doesn't want to hear anything that is related to. But I encourage everybody, because we are living in this world for temporary, but in this temporary that we live, we need to impact somebody in this world before we go.
Leave a legacy.
No late. We need to accomplish what God wants us to be. We need to reach 120.
That's right. I want to thank you both so much for coming in and sitting with me, and hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I thought I was through and over, and this is my last two out. Of course, for those of you who don't know and don't remember, the face that you're seeing was part of the Praise Life Morning Show, and she's now back doing her regular business that she normally does. And so you know who she is. That's your girl Tamelia, so we don't have to introduce them to the station anymore. They know you. But let's talk to who are you?
My name is Bernadette Kariuki.
Bernadette Kariuki?
Bernadette Kariuki is my name.
Yeah. Yes. And what do you do?
I'm involved in an organization called Tabitha's Daughters International. Our main goal is to keep girls in school by providing sanitary pads to make sure that no girl misses class just because they have periods. So we make sure they have sanitary pads, and therefore attendance improves. And with attendance improving, their grades improve, and they become part of a profitable community.
That's right here in Canada?
We currently are doing it in Kenya and Cameroon, but we are also beginning to work with organizations here in London. When we get pads, we do distribute them to the resource centers here so that they can reach any girl that needs them.
Awesome.
And we're going to upscale that as well.
Beautiful.
We're hoping to talk to schools and work with schools and other organizations as well.
And Miss Tamelia?
Who am I?
Yeah.
I am Tamelia, your girl Tamelia.
There, your girl Tamelia.
Yes.
And Tamelia saying, well, I don't do nothing. Yes, you do. You are an educator. What is
Yes,
wrong with you?
I am an educator.
Oh my goodness.
listen, it has been a long day,
Uh-huh.
But yes, I am an educator.
And so you are doing a
And
business.
I want to just correct. I'm not was of Streaming Praise Radio. I am still.
No, I said you were part of the morning show. I didn't say nothing but Streaming Praise. You know,
yeah.
So I'm going to rephrase my question here for both of you. What inspired you to get involved in this non-for-profit?
It was a challenge that I experienced personally. Not really understanding what menstruation was, and therefore that was one. But also I realized that I was getting a lot of requests from young girls, buy me pads, and I realized actually it is a problem. And it's bigger than I even imagined.
Oh, wow.
It was much, much bigger than I imagined. So that I'm an educator as a background as well as a nurse. So to me, every child should have a chance to go to school and uninterrupted. And no girl should not be able to go to school for something that comes naturally. It's a biological, natural function that should not be impeding on their ability to stay in school. So that's what inspired me.
And Tamelia?
I am an educator that.
What inspired you to become an educator?
Inspired me? To be frank, I'm an ECE, early childhood educator. Nothing really did actually inspire me. I was just supposed to come to Canada, and that was the field I'm supposed to go in. However, getting into the field is a different story. And then I have now a passion for it, right? And the passion that I have for it is what I see and how children grow. And how children's skills when educators and parents collaborate, and when we collaborate together, how those little things that we do consistently allow children to develop. And over the years I've learned that it is not about the place that they're in right now. It's not about the classroom. It's not about just next week. Their development next week. It is about a lifelong learning. So I start digging deeper. I start being more curious about why children like certain things. How do they learn? Why do they maybe, say for example, hit another child? What is it? Or when it comes to autism, so I starting to be curious, and I start to do more diving and using different strategies to help children to build on their skills and collaborate with parents in order for these children to have the best support system possible.
So what inspires you is your curiosity?
Yeah, after a long while.
So as a black educator in the field that you're in London, Ontario, what challenges have you faced or are you facing, and how did you push through them?
Challenges that I face challenges with other educators in the sense of, no, I am the designate, so if the director is not there, I'm the person who takes full charge of the center. So I experience where maybe persons do not think I should be or capable of being in that space. And at first hand, it was really overwhelming, stressful, because persons will call you, like, for example, persons were designate before, and then they're calling you names in the sense of not just by your name, but calling you designate and then your name, which you know. So those things kind of caused me to really like feel flustered and feel anxious and feel as if, do I truly want to be in this space, you know? And you start questioning yourself. But those are some of the challenges that I face, and pushback. So if you have initiatives that you want to do, if you see another child from a different class that you want to say, like, why is this child doing this? Or you hear a person speaking about these challenges that they have with the child, and you want to help, you know, there's a lot of pushback, you know, how they respond to you, the body language and stuff like that. However, over the period of weeks, and speaking to mentors and developing myself through various different ways, I have learned not to listen to the noise, focus on the mission and the vision, and keep going. And now those things don't bother me anymore.
What are the challenges you face?
Wow, challenges. I will split them into two. Challenges when we're working in our projects in Africa. We face challenges if, say, for example, politically the atmosphere is charged. Then we have to delay our programs. We have to delay the distributions. We have to delay the teaching because of the political environment at that particular time. We also face challenges when sometimes your presence can be interpreted as maybe you're interested in politics and that's why you're doing what you're doing. So that can be a little bit of a challenge in working. So we work with communities, we work with parents, we work with the leaders of the community so that they understand where we are coming from. The other big challenge is that right now we are targeting girls in schools in the lower classes because they cannot speak for themselves. So here you would say elementary, those who start their periods when they're still in the elementary and early stages of high school, because at least the bigger girls can advocate for themselves a little bit, but we're dealing with that age group. And we go to communities that are very poor. So what we find is that you're giving sanitary pads to that one girl in that home, but the mother is facing the same problem. The sisters are facing the same problem. So guess what? They're going to share. So you're solving a problem for one child, but really it's not that one child that is facing a problem. The older sister, the mother is also facing the same challenge because it's a poor community. They have to choose between buying pads, sanitary pads, and buying food. So that's a challenge for us, yeah. And here in Canada, I think one of the challenges that we face sometimes is people here connecting with that problem. You know, it's what do you mean? People cannot access pads. So people just connecting with that issue is a little bit of a challenge for us. And yet there is a study, and I think it's a government study that has come out, and I read it says that 19% of women in Canada are facing the same challenge. They don't have access to sanitary pads. So it's a world problem. So we should be talking about it here. That's our goal, to burst those stigmas, those myths, and talk about it enough to make people comfortable to talk about it and look for solutions.
Wow. If you were to talk to your younger self now, and especially in the job that you're doing, in the business you're in, and they want to do the same thing you're doing but scared, or have a fear of, can I do it? Am I capable of doing it? What would you tell them?
If someone wanted to do what I'm doing,
the younger you.
me. I think like initially when I started, I thought, oh, it's just a few girls, here there when I see them, and then all of a sudden it dawns to you that, oh, this is a huge problem. It's not just one or two girls that you meet here and there. It's huge. But a younger me, I wish would talk more, be encouraged to talk more about it. Educated, I wish I was educated about menstrual periods, to know what to expect, to know what to do when they come, and that's what we do. We teach young girls what is it, what do you expect, and then deal with myths and stigmas that come with period poverty. There are a lot of myths and there are a lot of stigmas, and hopefully also, we found period poverty affects a lot of areas. It's mental health, because when that child is stigmatized, or that day that she leaks and the blood is out and everybody's laughing and clapping, that mentally affects that child, and chances of them coming back to school are very low. Having that courage to come back after they've been exposed to that way. So it affects a lot of areas in a child's life, and also discouraging them from, when you avail sanitary pads, then they don't use the products that they've been using, like old used mattresses, old pieces of clothes, some types of leaves, so that exposes them sometimes to infections. There is also them getting involved in prostitution or early sex, because that's the only way to get the pads, or the money to buy the pads, because they're promised pads, if the money for the pads, if they have sex with people that they don't even know, and then get pregnant, drop out of school. They're pregnant when they're very young. The chances of complications because they're very young. Chances of having other diseases because they're very young. So it's a vicious circle.
Wow.
It's huge. It touches so much of their lives. Yeah.
Things that we take for granted. Tamilia.
Right.
If you were to encourage someone in your field who's younger and wants to get involved in a field like this, what would you tell them?
Research a lot. Research a lot and be very, very, very curious about the children, and question things about the children, and putting yourself in a child's shoe, in the sense of, if this was me in that child's shoe, how would I want to be treated? Think about that. And also, it can be a really overwhelming work, because you have 1 to 5 if for a toddler class ratio. So you have 10 toddler to 2 educator. It can be a lot, and then you are dealing with maybe behavioral issues and stuff like other things. So another thing I'll tell another person that wants to go into the field, ensure that you are taking care of you. Ensure that you're taking care of yourself. Ensure that the things that you're listening to are things that will motivate you and will keep you going, and understand that there will be days that you will feel those feelings, but with all of the feelings that you feel, yes, acknowledge it. However, do not let it consume you, because if the vision that you have is to help children, and the passion that you have to help children, the children are waiting on you. So do not be clothed in those feelings, but know that it is there, and push past those feelings so you can help another child. Maybe you have an experience where somebody didn't help you, somebody push you aside, push you at the back, so you can be that person that push that child forward. Because sometimes, even though we see these little children, we think that their homes are these perfect homes because parents come and laugh and giggles with you and have conversations. Sometimes their homes are just, we go home, you go bed, you eat, you go bed. There's no interaction, and sometimes we cannot blame the parents because sometimes the parents don't even know how to interact with their own child. And this is what they have learned, and this is what we're moving into. It's more like a robot scheme, a robot movement, right? I learned it this way, I'm doing it this way. Or some parents will be like, I didn't learn it this way, but I'm doing it this way. But it doesn't support the child. I want this child to maybe not sleep at daycare so they can go to bed by 8 o'clock, because if they sleep, then they're not able to sleep at the time that I want them to sleep. So no sleep, but then that affects their development. So it is about you pushing past these feelings, because these children, they need educators who want to see better in them, see skills beyond what you're seeing in front of you, know that they are capable, competent, they understand, they're not just small humans. They understand what is coming out of your mouth is just you, the way you word it. They are capable children. Is all we need to do is to teach them. My daughter is 16 months, and I teach her how to brush her teeth. And she will take the toothbrush, she'll point to it. I'll put the toothpaste on it, and she'll rub it just as how I will do it. And then she'll long out her tongue, and she'll do it the same way. It is all about how you go about it and teaching it. And not because I say that, you also have to see the readiness. So you have to be a person who is very observant in the field and want the best for children.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I know it's been a long day, especially for you, Tamilia. And just let you know, Tamilia,
I am a part.
You are a part of Streaming Praise Radio, but you're not part of the Praise Life Money. You had to go off and do other things. I understand that. I did tell you, but you're not part of Streaming Praise Radio. What is wrong with you? You can't run. Well, thank you guys once again. London Black Women in Business, and we are out.
Thank you.